So yeah, I'm Dylan. I'm one of the co-founders of DirectlyApply. We're a US-based job search site. We've been going around 6 years now, and for the past sort of 18 months to 2 years, we've kind of transformed our business from a pretty boring just job search site. You know, you type in software engineer, you get software engineer just because the word software engineer was in the job description or the job title. And it's been really cool. So we have around 30,000 people that use our site every day to find jobs across the US. And in the last few months, using a few cool new technologies, we've been able to increase the conversion rates massively. And we're just helping more people find jobs. So it's a bit of a boring demo, not as fun as graphs or anything, but I'm going to try and sort of demonstrate what we do over the lifespan of a job search. So the average job search is around 7 to 14 days. And so we learn a lot of information from people over that time period, and we're able to improve the job search as we go through. So, does anyone know what the most common job search is on a job search site? Second, at the moment anyway. But the number one search that people type into the search bar is job. People just type in job. And somebody told me that before I started the business, and I didn't believe them. And then we went live, and it's like, job. And then it's like, recently it's been remote and any. And it doesn't matter how good you are at matching or search or whatever you do, it's incredibly difficult to find people a job when they type in the word job. So a lot of what we're trying to do is to try and, from the get-go, understand as much information as we can, and so then we can actually help them get off to the right start, right? So the number one way that people leave us very quickly, or they bounce very quickly, is if they type something in and they don't get what they expect because they expect a Google-like experience, or not so Google as of recently. And so we want to try and get the initial things going as quickly as possible. So for example, somebody might type in that they're a software engineer, and we do a quick bit of checking to make sure we actually have software engineering jobs. But then people might type in something like Amazon. And what we've done is we've built models that sort of understand, one, what the difference is between different entity types. So obviously in this case, I've got a job title, but I also have a company name. And so we've looked at what available jobs we have in New York, given the context that this person's a software engineer at Amazon. And currently we have a solutions architect job with AWS in New York. So we can click on that. And then, so what we're trying to do here is to get as much context as possible, as early as possible, so then from the get-go, we have something to give. And this has been really successful. So, previously we'd have around 15% of people that try to onboard or try to sign up basically bounce straight away because it didn't work. And by just using a bit of context as they go through, we're able to produce better results. And that's now down to like 6%. So that's pretty cool. Cool. The other problem with job search is that people type in, let's say they do manage to go past typing in job, any, or remote, and they actually type in what they are, pharmacist, for example. And the problem is like jobs are more nuanced than that. Like all of us have jobs that you could probably put like a broad title on, but there's lots of sub-context that you need. And so in America, like, I don't know if there's any Americans in, but like pharmacies are like these huge, like, I don't even know how to describe it. They do everything. You can get drugs, you can do x-rays, you can do whatever you want. And so pharmacist in itself, even though it is a defined job title, there's lots of other jobs that go there. So what we've been doing recently is we've been giving a bit more of a wider selection. And then once people start narrowing in throughout their job search, based on what they're clicking on, what they're doing, we're able to provide better results. So for example, there's a range here. So we've got a pharmacist here, phlebotomist here, optometrist. These aren't necessarily what you'd identify as like amazing matches, but if you go and look at like Indeed or LinkedIn, you get relatively poor results that first search. So then when you click in, we've basically now taken that learning, this person's clicked on pharmacist jobs, and so then as we go through, the suggestions that come up subsequently are more defined. And we're doing this in a number of ways. So we kind of went sort of embeddings mad. And so we built, embeddings models for everything. So we built them to understand companies and their relationships with different types of jobs. We did a lot of work around skills. That was the first one we did, splitting up hard skills and soft skills. One of the problems we had was we were suggesting vet jobs to nurses because they're quite similar in terms of the skill sets required. So then understanding when you look at a job description for a nurse and then you take out the soft skills and then you match those soft skills with other soft skills, then the vet jobs sort of fall away. Another example, software engineering. Obviously, it's quite broad. If you try to find a new job, there's lots of software engineers here, on LinkedIn, it's pretty horrendous to try and get into your specialty. So for example, here we've got a generative AI job at Capital One. And when I click on that, given the context of this job being positive for this user, we're now starting to suggest AI, ML engineering jobs, machine learning infrastructure, probably not quite right. And I would guess that this job, we can have a quick look, probably mentions something to do with AI engineering. So that's been really cool. And the difference is like there's so many jobs out there. We've currently got almost 6 million vacancies across the US live on our site. And so, most people look at 4. So even suggesting 12 is too many. We need to get it down to 4 as quickly as possible. And my last little feature was, let's refresh this. This was a bit of fun actually. We actually just built this in about a couple of hours. And this one we're not using our own model, we're just using OpenAI with some of our own data. But I thought it was cool to demonstrate how these, we're all about improving the more engagement that somebody has, the more likely they are to have a better outcome. And we want to make the experience as human as possible. A lot of people here are professionals, so we've all probably had headhunters or recruiters reaching out to us, but a lot of sort of blue-collar workers never have that sort of experience. And so, if you're a delivery driver or a janitor or a shop assistant, you've probably never had the idea of sort of being headhunted or reached out to. So what we try and do in our communications with job seekers is try and replicate that. And a lot of that is what's missing with a lot of sites is just sort of that human element. So feedback is a big thing. We take this feedback, we pass it, we figure out what they tried to say, and then we implement that for future learnings. So just a bit of fun. And most people actually fill this in, and it does wait till I finish typing before it actually computes it. And our job is, because we only get paid if somebody actually goes through the application process, we objection handle them and give them a reason to apply anyway. And it's going to objection handle that the salary's a bit low and that I could ask for more money at the interview. So yeah, that's quite cool. And I thought that was kind of a cool demo. It literally took us about an hour to build. We have over 1,000 people a day type in something into that. We pass out, so in this case, we know that that's obviously a salary issue. And we've implemented this in our job alert emails as well. So if you get those annoying emails from different job boards inviting you to look at jobs and stuff, loads of people reply to those, literally thousands of people a day reply to those. And so we've implemented versions of this to the inbound email that comes from that, and we're able to reply. It replies about 9 minutes later, so you think it's a real human. And it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Should probably say I'm a single store customer, so all of this is powered on single store. We're using their Vector product, which has been very, very cool and has allowed us to get up and running super easy. Cool. Thanks. Thank you.